You've got ideas, you've got ambition, you've got no time, or so you think. I'm Marissa Lonick, and I help busy moms with big dreams and no time. Join me each week as I dive into time management strategies, goal setting and achieving framework, and inspiring guests who are juggling mom life, work life, fill in the blank life. Dreams don't work unless you do, and just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't still make it happen, whatever it means to you. Welcome to the Mama Work It podcast. Hello, mamas, and welcome back to another amazing episode of the Mama Work It podcast. I am absolutely thrilled to introduce you today to Stevie Wright. Stevie is a certified self-love coach and breathwork facilitator who specializes in helping people open portals to their unlimited potential using somatic and subconscious practices. She's the founder of the Breath Channel, a breathwork membership platform that has attracted hundreds of members for its fast and effective breathwork practices. She helps high performers and overachievers find their worth outside of what they do. Stevie has spent the last several years healing herself to go from disconnected, anxious, and playing small to completely owning her power, and now helps other people do the same. Now, you may be wondering what breathwork even is and how something you do all day, every day could literally change your life. And I know the conversation Stevie and I are about to have is going to not only teach you a ton of incredible stuff, it's probably going to intrigue you and maybe even uncover some things you didn't even realize you were capable of doing, feeling, even manifesting for yourself. So, Stevie, I can't wait to have this conversation. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Marissa. I'm excited.
Good. Okay, well, first things first, please tell us a little bit more about you and how you got started on this journey as a self-love coach and breathwork facilitator.
Sure. It's funny. I've been asked this question so many times, so I feel like I've kind of got my story in the nuts and bolts version, so it's not too long. But I've been coaching for just about 5 years now, and that journey began actually in health and wellness. I started health coaching first, and I was 24, maybe about 24-ish, and was really feeling lost, was really feeling like I was going through this quarter life crisis. I was working a really dead end job. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was feeling really, really scared and just lost. And I remember there was this one night where I think I was watching like Mindy Project or something, and just had my hand wrist deep in a carton of ice cream and like just gotten off of work. And I'm like, oh, I had a come to Jesus moment where I was like, oh my God, no, this is not what I am doing with my life. And for me, I didn't exactly know what my path was, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I knew that the first step for me was just taking care of my wellness. And so I went on a journey of really, I was having some health issues. And so really doing some internal healing physically. And from there, found out that you could be a health coach. And I didn't know that that was a thing. I didn't know coaching was a thing, really. And I was like, a health coach. And I had just gone on this journey of, finding the things that worked for me, and deepening my wellness and feeling really good in my body, and had just kind of been on this whole journey myself. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to do that. I know a thing or two about wellness, and I'm motivating. And so I went to health coaching school. I got certified and started seeing clients. And very quickly, what I realized, Marissa, is these women would come to me, wanting to lose weight or having these health goals or whatever it was, and we would start building a rapport and start really building a trusting relationship. And 1-2 months in, they're starting to tell me deep trauma that I had no idea how to help them with. I was not qualified at all. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. And so it was in that moment that I realized, oh my gosh, if I really want to help people in the way that I want to help people, this is so not about wellness. This is so not about food. This is so not about any of that. And I'm going to have to really do some digging internally in myself and also get some wisdom and get some training of how to support people in doing this deeper dive that I hadn't done myself yet. So I stopped health coaching, I got a job, and I spent the next several years really going internally in myself and getting into therapy and getting my own coach and doing some different programs and courses and trainings that would really support me in facilitating a transformative experience for someone and co-creating a transformative experience and creating a really, really safe container so that when someone does bring me those deeper issues, I would know how to meet them and support them in that and through that. And so now, and that in that journey led me to breath work. So that was one of the things that I had found myself. When it comes to breath work, I found breath work by accident. That was actually not something that I was seeking to help clients with. A girlfriend of mine, she invited me to a breathwork class, and I had no idea what it was. I thought it was a workout. So I'm like coming in my workout clothes and ready to do breathwork. And I live in LA. And so I enter this, we go to Santa Monica and we enter this big hall, and there's a bald man with a giant gong. And I'm like, what have I gotten myself into?
This is not Pilates.
That's right. This is not Pilates. I'm like, okay. And everyone's setting up their mats, and he taught us the breath pattern. And I ended up having a profound, profound experience and had a really big emotional release. And I came out of that. It was like an hour long or 90-minute class. And I was like, what the hell just happened? And so I stayed doing breathwork myself for a couple years before I decided this has completely shifted my life. I want to be able to offer this to my clients. And then a couple years later, got certified in that. But yeah, it's been 5, 6 years, and just feel like where I started is completely different from where I am now. And I feel now the work that I do is really beautiful and really deep and really working with the subconscious and working with the body. And it's been a really fun journey.
Yeah, and I like how it wasn't linear because so many people listening, that's the expectation we all kind of think, right? We're mostly the audience here working moms, so they think, okay, find a partner, have this career, have this home, have a kid, feel fulfillment. That doesn't always happen, right? It's a bumpier road. So
Yeah.
just that story in general of like you had this dead end job, you went into what you thought you were passionate about, you went back to a job, you really found yourself. I mean, it's a prime example of how
Yeah.
the roller coaster of life is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, for those listening who may not really understand what breath work is, just can you give us like an idea of what do you do? What is it for? How does it work?
Yeah, absolutely. So, breathwork is an ancient healing modality. People have been using it in the East for 1,000 years. It is not new. It's just starting to get popularized and westernized, maybe about since the 70s. But basically, breathwork is conscious continual breathing. And a lot of people say, well, how is that different than all day, every day? And breath work, when you are, there's all different types of breath work, but when you're breathing in a certain pattern consciously and you're bringing awareness to how the breath comes into your body, something magical happens. And what that is the breath bypasses the ego, it bypasses the mind, and it goes right into the body. And this is where, the conversation of somatic work happens, because somatic, soma, means body. And mindset, thought work, all of that is great. Manifestation, all of that is great. And I do a ton of it myself and with my clients. But if you're leaving out the body, you're really missing a big piece of the healing puzzle, because the body is where all of our trauma, limiting beliefs, stories, old wounds, that's where all of that is housed, held. It's really not in the mind. And so breath work gives us access to the body where we can safely touch some of those parts and really connect with our power and release some of these stagnant energies that are holding us back from being in our full potential, full power, full presence. So it's a beautiful modality that allows us to get into the body. It's like wringing out a sponge where you're able to heal beliefs at literally at a deep nervous system level. You can heal beliefs that live in your tissue, and that's how this works is when you're doing breath work, when you're doing somatic work, it's, man, you're just able to go so deep and really change things for good. And I find that with myself, but also with a lot of my clients, they'll say, when we're just starting to work together in a program, they'll say, I feel like I've done so much work, but some of these patterns keep on happening. And every time I think that I've healed it, it rears its head in another way, in another scenario. And somatic work allows us to heal something for good and actually stop playing whack-a-mole and actually fully clear something. So it's really powerful.
Wow. When you were describing that, I was envisioning like instead of going down this windy path and potentially getting lost, you have this more direct route.
Yeah.
It's like the Google Maps of healing.
And it's still, yeah, absolutely. It still gets twisty and turny just because with all the stuff that comes up, there's a lot to navigate, but it is, when you're doing somatic work, things can heal at a quantum rate, it's really special.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What if you're somebody who's new to this area and you're listening and you're like, I don't even know what I have to heal.
Yeah.
I'm just so wound so tight. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
go, go, go all the time. Why would this be a good solution to me? Like, does everybody who you work with, do they come with like a specific trauma that they want to work on? Or are they just like, hey, I don't know, this sounds like something relaxing I might want to do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. People come in for all different reasons. Sometimes there's specific things people want to work on. Other times they just keep hearing about how breathwork is so powerful and they're called to it and drawn to it. Other times it's like they think it's like a meditation, which it is. It's an active form of meditation. But for those of us who are go, 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 busy, busy, and again, I know a lot of your listeners are moms, breathwork is an amazing tool because it works quickly. And sometimes, you can do a 45-minute or hour-long breathwork practice, or you can do 5 minutes of breathwork, 10 minutes of breathwork, and you will notice an absolute shift in your energy. And this is kind of the idea behind the Breath Channel, which is my breathwork membership. All of those practices are in there are anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. So you get in, you breathe, you feel better, you get out, you go on with your day, and your energy is completely shifted. You feel better, you feel more alive, you feel more energy, you feel more awake, you feel less anxious, you feel less stressed. And that's how quick it can happen with breath work. And that's why it's helpful for people who are, even if you don't know exactly what you want to work on, but you just need a place to like release. That's an awesome option. And the other thing about breath work is for those of us who, can't meditate. I love meditation. It really works for me, but I hear all the time, I can't meditate. I can't quiet my mind. I feel more in my head. I feel more anxious. Breath work is a perfect option because it's active. So you're doing an exercise where it's kind of hard to be in your head. And you're actually doing an active meditation where you're getting dropped into your body. So it's a perfect option for that.
Yeah, I will say that I have a hard time with
Yeah.
meditation. I always have. I mean, I'm getting better with more practice, but it is challenging for me.
Yeah.
And personally, I am a member of the Breath Channel, so I can attest to the fact that a few things I want to highlight that I love about it, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So, first thing is, I love, like you said, they're quick and easy and efficient things to do. While I think I would enjoy a 45-minute breathwork session, it's not always my reality that I can
Yeah.
dedicate that time to that. So, 5, 10, 15 minutes, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that these are outlined for specific things, right? Some days I like to do breath work because I need to feel more aligned. I need to feel more like, in control and kind of, just in the right element for that day. Other days, I need some energy and motivation because
Right.
it's just not happening normally. So there's so many different reasons, and you have them categorized so nicely in that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I will say, I think, especially a mom like who's got so many things on her mind, this really is a great solution because it's short, it's quick, it has major impact, and it's not stressful in the sense like you really need to be like in this meditative state of clearing your mind. Like you can just focus on
Right.
the breath.
Right. Exactly. And what I love that you brought up the themes, because there's all sorts: breath work for stress, anxiety, breath work for motivation, breath work for higher self, breath work for feminine embodiment, breath work for sleep, digestion, period pain. There's so many options. Breath work for abundance and manifestation. There's just so many options, and I add 5 new videos a month. There's wonderful guest teachers in there. It's my baby.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, it's
Yeah.
helping so many people. So incredible, incredible.
Thanks. Thanks.
All right. So like I said, there are many people listening. I'm fairly new to breath work. I mean, I only started doing this in the past few months. So I know many of our listeners, maybe this is the first time they're hearing about it, learning about it. Can we do like a quick sample of breath work on the show?
Of course. Of course. I do want to say, if you're listening to this at hyperspeed, don't go ahead and slow down.
Slow down.
Go ahead and slow down, unclick that button, or otherwise you're just going to be hyperventilating.
For sure, for sure.
Also, I want to say, if you're in the car or driving, also don't do this practice. So we want to be at home. You want to be seated. It's only going to be about 3 minutes or so, but we're just going to give a little sample of breath work and what it feels like.
Yes. All right, let's do it. I'm all here for it.
So go ahead and close your eyes. And I'm going to explain what we're going to do. It's really easy, and I'm going to guide you the whole time. So first, we are going to just drop in a little bit. Feel the seat beneath you. Feel in this moment that you're safe. Just noticing what's alive in your body. Maybe there's a little butterflies or anxiety or joy or stress or any of the flavors. Allow them to be there. And we're going to start with breathing in and out through the nose. So it sounds like this. We're going to do 50 of those. Then we're going to breathe in and out through the mouth. It sounds like this. And you're kind of pumping at the navel there. And then we're going to take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and then call it a day. So starting with that nose breath in 3, 2, 1. Through the mouth. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale. And soften the shoulders on the exhale. Inhale. Exhale, let go even more. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Keeping the eyes closed for one more moment. Just feel your feet on the ground. Feel how the ground is holding you. ground has got you. There's 4 walls around you, keeping you safe. You are completely held and contained in this moment. And when you're ready, opening the eyes. Beautiful.
It's hard for me to get back here now and ask you the rest of these questions because I feel so good.
Good.
All right. All right. Well, there you have it. There is a quick and dirty sample of what breath work is. Hopefully you were able to participate in that. And if you weren't and you had to hit pause, come back to this later and, do it on your own time. We definitely don't want you doing it while you're driving or doing something, that you need to be dedicating your attention to.
Absolutely.
But what I want to do now is at this part of the show, I like to ask our guests just some totally random fun questions so our listeners can get to know you a little bit better. And then we will be wrapping up. So are you ready for the lightning round?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, Stevie, what is your guilty pleasure TV show?
I don't feel guilty about any of the shows I watch, but I really like not Love Island, but the one where I like Love is Blind. And then there's one where they go there just to hook up, but then they realize they can't have sex and they have to
Yes.
make connections. It's the best.
Yes, I know what show you're talking about. The name is escaping me, but yeah,
It's so good.
those are good. Those are good reality shows for sure.
That and then Grey's Anatomy is my favorite.
Awesome. And I like how you said, I don't feel guilty about any of it. Yeah, you shouldn't. Absolutely. All right. If you could go on vacation tomorrow anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
I would definitely go to Bali. I've been having almost like a 2-year trip that keeps not happening, going to Bali. Right before COVID, I booked a trip. I had a villa all to myself. I was going to go solo for an entire month.
Wow.
And yeah, I was so excited, but then COVID happened and then Bali opened up and then I booked it again, but then it closed again. So it just hasn't been the right time, but I am very, very soon going to do a solo month-long trip in Bali.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely. What is one thing you never leave the house without?
My phone.
Yeah. It's like a security blanket.
Yeah. Unless I'm just going for a walk, around the neighborhood, but mostly I bring my phone everywhere.
Yeah. What's your cocktail of choice?
My friend, I don't know what it's called, but my friend makes me this delicious cocktail. It has coconut milk, like thick coconut fat, and then pineapple juice, rum, and bitters. And it is so good.
That sounds good.
It's really good.
And what's one app you could not live without?
Insight Timer.
Oh, tell us what that is.
It's a meditation app and they have thousands of different teachers and meditations and it's awesome. It's my favorite meditation app.
Oh, awesome. Okay. All right. Well, before we wrap up, please tell our listeners where they can find you.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Stevie L Wright _. Come hang out with me. I love hearing from everyone. So if you DM me, I'll definitely get back to you. The Breath Channel, you can find all the links in my bio, but the Breath Channel and my group program, The Embodied Woman, which is another round is starting in February. All of that is in there. So come say hi to me on there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, Stevie. I'm really excited for our listeners to learn more about breath work and to have experienced it straight from the source. I love it.
Thank you so much, Marissa. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
You've been listening to the Mama Work It podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and would love if you could take a quick minute to leave me a review on whichever platform you're listening from, and maybe even send a note to a fellow mama friend recommending it. Reviews and recs help this podcast grow and reach more like-minded, awesome moms. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click that button so we can stay in touch, girl. By the way, if you haven't checked out the Mama Work It website, please do. There are lots of free resources and great articles there that can help you with the juggle of work life, mom life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So head on over. Thanks again for being part of the tribe. I'll see you soon, but in the meantime, keep on working it, Mama.